Hi guys, welcome to this week's video. This week I'm going to start putting up the ceiling. So we've got these white MDF wood effect panels that we're going to nail or put some fixings up onto the ceiling, and this will give us our finished look in our room for our ceiling. So let's get started. So the first thing that I've got to do is I've got to put a laser level right at the top of the ceiling, looking across the whole of the roof. Now the reason why I'm doing this is to actually make sure that when I put the first panel in, the first wood line in, it's actually level. I can't actually go off the beams themselves or anything in this building because nothing is level here. So I need to make sure I put my laser level first. So I've just attached that onto the top beam. I'll run that across the whole of the length of the roof, and then this will give me a line to then start installing the first wood panels. So I'll start installing the first wood panels using a line, and then after that I can then just follow down from there. We've bought these little clips that will hopefully slot inside the sort of tongue and groove of the wood panels that we've bought. And the idea of these is that we can nail these clips to the beams that are running vertically down, and that will then hold the wood in place. So that's the plan. Let's get started. So I've been using these clips and basically they haven't worked very well. When I start nailing to the ceiling, as I put the wood there as well, they start to kind of bend and fall apart because they're not actually very strong. They're kind of slightly more designed for the walls, you know, if they were sort of putting walls and fixing them to the kind of walls rather than a kind of tilted ceiling like this. So my plan is I'm just going to give up with them and actually just nail them to the beams themselves. It makes it a bit easier. But the main problem is obviously I'm then going to see the nails in the actual wood effect itself. So my plan is later on I'll go back over and kind of just put a little bit of paint on them to touch up. Luckily enough, the ceiling's high enough that you can't actually see them anyway, but we've had to change our plans because the fixings that we've got that we hope to use aren't as good as we thought they are. But there we are, we're progressing as we go along and we're having to change our plans as we go along. We're novices at this, we've never done it before, but the trick is to just give something a go and, you know, see what you can achieve. If you don't try, you'll never know, and it's the best way to do it. For the trickier areas, which are close to the beam, what I'm having to do is I'm having to measure exactly the distance that I want between the beam and the sort of piece of wood that I've already put up. And I'm measuring kind of as I go along, kind of every 20 seconds, measuring the height, measuring the height, measuring the height. And then I'm putting that onto one of the other sort of wooden beams and sort of just drawing a line between the two. And then that gives me one long kind of line, maybe worthy line, that I'm then cutting to. And then hopefully when I take it back up to the ceiling, it will fit perfectly. None of them have fitted perfectly. I've always had to bring them back down, cut a little bit off, shave a little bit here, shave a little bit there. But the end effect is that you'll have the wood effect going right up towards the beam. So I'm just trying to put the first line up, which will hopefully be a level line going across the roof. Now, as you can see, it doesn't look particularly level at the moment, but I'm hoping that because I'm using my laser level, when I go all the way across and start building up, it will actually be level. I did do the same on this side. I used my laser level and it worked really well and it looks really level, even though by eye it didn't look too level. So I'm hoping that if I follow the same route, same plan, this will look level as well, but it doesn't look particularly level at the moment. The other day was my birthday and I was given a work belt, which is going to be really useful for holding my hammer and my nails and everything else, because at the moment when I'm up this tower, there's nowhere to put stuff and I often knock things over and it falls down. I've broken the tape measure and other bits and pieces because they've knocked off. So I'm really happy with this, and hopefully this will help make my life a bit easier. There we are guys, that's the end of the video for this week. I haven't managed to do the whole ceiling. As you can see, I've done one section there, and if I turn around, I've done half a section up there. So I'm getting there, but it's slow work. It's taken a while, especially the sort of upper section, which you can see there, because I'm having to dismantle my whole scaffolding, move it across under the beam, which is there, and then rebuild it again. So that's taken me a bit of time as I'm going back and forth. But we're getting there. It's starting to look really good, and you can start to see the finished result. I hope you've enjoyed this week's video, and look forward to seeing you next week. Hopefully it won't rain, because I'm going to start putting some insect protector on the outside of our barn, outside where the roof comes, and also hopefully trying to get some guttering in. That's the plan. If it's raining, I'll be back inside carrying on with the ceiling. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, click the bell so you get notified of my next video, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Cheers guys, bye!